Hey guys, it's Nate again. We got another video here. Looks like dropouts and graduates. Is college worth it? I have not seen this video. Doing a little reaction video here. I've been crazy busy here in Florida. I've been trying to put out videos, and so good old Austin in here has been get this set up for me so we can get these things knocked out and do some videos. But let's see what we got. College and dropouts, graduates and dropouts. We're gonna see. You know, my thoughts on college are interesting, so I can't wait to see this one.
Kind of my college grads on that side and my dropouts on the other side. First statement. I feared how I would be judged if I didn't go to college.
Just me then, that's cool. It was the fear of me caring about what people thought, as far as like my peers, but then when you start bringing your parents into it, and it's like, that's a greater fear. It's like you live for your parents, it's like, you know, you want to make them proud. So I just fear this closure between me and my parents, you know.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I am Sean Fitzpatrick. I went to Columbia, Chicago for not even a semester, and I was like, no, you know what? Let's go back to California and do music.
College in the first place is, in my opinion, 90% of people is a waste of time. If you're not gonna be an engineer, a doctor, a lawyer, something that requires schooling to actually work in a profession, my recommendation would be go get experience in that profession. As an employer, I would prefer someone to have 4 years experience in the field than 4 years of a worthless college degree from a professor who's likely never done anything besides teach in their entire lives.
They wanted me to go, and then I said, if you want me to make you proud, let me do this.
Non-agreeers, come on in.
I wasn't afraid that I would be judged if I didn't go to college, but I also didn't question going to college. It was just kind of the next step, and I didn't plan otherwise, so yeah.
That path.
See, my logic on that is like that college is so ingrained, the idea that college is necessary is so ingrained into society that she doesn't even know, you know, I'm sure pressure from her parents growing up that she needs to go to college, and that college is part of the process, and then you have high school and you have college, and college is necessary to be successful. But you see big companies are no longer really they're no longer really requiring you to have a college degree anymore, like Google and Facebook and some of these companies. And so what they're finding is there's some very talented people who don't go to college, and people say, you know, you're lazy because you didn't go to college. I actually say that people who don't go to college are maybe sometimes they're a bit lazy. I think that's the potential. But the reality is I genuinely think that people aren't lazy. I believe they're uninspired. And I think if you're uninspired, particularly in regards to going to college and furthering your education, I think I would prefer you to get, I didn't go to college. I didn't even graduate high school. And so I prefer to go hands-on and to learn and to benefit from my time. Whereas college, you're essentially going into debt most of the time in order to learn something that from a book, which typically doesn't correlate directly into what field you're trying to go into. So you're learning a subject in order to get a degree that says you're specialized in a subject. But however, the subjects that you're learning generally have nothing to do with the end goal, the end game. So you're learning things just to get a piece of paper to say that you know about something. Then reality is those classes have nothing to do with what you're going to do. And so when I say worthless, what I mean by worthless is that the value of a degree, your typical everyday degree, business degree, it really doesn't have much value. You know, there's again, if I had a 4-year degree or someone who had 4 years in a particular field, I'm going to take the 4 years in a particular field all day long, because they're going to know tons more than the guy who has a worthless degree.
growth. It seemed like it was the next step.
Yeah, and you're encouraged by your parents.
Exactly.
And
They
Like I
gave me
said.
that pathway of saying, you know, the only way you're going to succeed is through college. But
Exactly.
then as I got older, they gave me the idea, well, you can do whatever you want if you find your path, though. You need to find your path, but if you don't, you should go to college at the end of the day.
I believe college should be free.
I'm broke.
I had an in-state, like, all of my tuition was paid for and I still have debt. Now I'm sitting on it and I don't have a job, not like a real job. Yeah,
I love that. I just talked about that. So this is education. When I actually love this subject. I'm super passionate about this subject. When you have a degree that says that I can do a particular thing, I have a business degree, right? So what is a business degree? They teach you how a business functions and how you should, you know, accounting and all these different things, right? That they claim is what makes a business, is how a business functions and makes it successful. But the reality is that the business doesn't actually succeed without multiple parts and multiple areas of knowledge, understanding, and talent. You see, just because someone teaches you how to run a business in a book doesn't correlate into the things that actually happen in business, such as changes. The economy is constantly changing. A lot of times with business degrees, they're 10 years, 15 years, 20 years dated, and the way that they did business back then does not directly correlate with the way they do business now. And so you're learning a dated a curriculum and a dated way of doing business, outdated way of doing business. And just to give you a direct correlation, I go to college to get a 4-year degree. It charged me $20,000 a year in debt, so now I'm $80,000 in debt. In which, by the way, school debt, right? You cannot file bankruptcy to get rid of it. You're going to have it forever. There's nothing you can do until you pay off of it, until you pay it off, and you're going to get really, really high fees and interest and whatnot throughout the entire process. So the system is designed to keep you inside of it, to always be paying it, to be enslaved to the system. What better way to take it to enslave our people than to educate them for free, and inside the education continuously institutionalize them and tell them that the only way that they can be successful is if they go to college and take out debt and continue to pay the government for the rest of their lives. See, back in the 70s, 60s, education, college was actually a value because not everyone had a college degree. And so back then, when you had a college degree, you were something special. But now it seems like everybody and their uncle has a college degree, and most of which don't even use them because the field that they're practicing in, and who knows what they want to do at 18 years old. I could go for days on this. I'm going to continue the video, but back to what I was saying. For originally 4 years going to college for a business, and you get paid nothing, and you go $80,000 in debt plus interest and fees. However, 4 years of working in a field that does business, you get paid the entire time and you get a free education. You check. What do you want to do? And by the way, there's nothing like learning business working inside of a business. You're going to get a significantly better, more instant understanding of the most up-to-date practices in business, what are successful today, not what was successful 4 years ago. Because what's successful 4 years ago in business and what's successful today is significantly different.
Debt definitely racks up.
it's ridiculous.
No, that's true, but that becomes an investment in the future. You
That's
would
true.
hope, yeah, at the end of the day. So you have to take that on.
You have your education, but
That is so ignorant. Yes, if you're going to be an engineer, a doctor, or a lawyer, this does not at all correlate to you. If you're going to be a doctor, lawyer, engineer, MBA, like master's degree, a CPA, you have to go to school for those things. You need to, you should, right? Take out debt for it if you need to, no problem. Because there's an end game, right? There's a strategy. But almost everything else exclusively does not correlate to good value for the money that you're spending. It doesn't make any sense. And I tell my kids all the time, if you want to go to college, it's fine. You better get a college, you better get some type of scholarship, or you better have a really good idea of what you're going to do, because I'm not paying for it. It's really that simple.
But does your like
Wasn't
bachelor's
worth that
degree
much.
get you a higher paying job? Not in my experience.
Exactly.
I didn't even question going to college until after I had finished it. I was like, what do I do now, and why did I even go, and you know.
If everyone went to college, it would become useless.
I just feel like a lot of people out here just getting degrees by luck or getting degrees by cheating their way through. And if that was the case and college is so accessible, I just feel like we'll have a lot of wannabes and not people who are really passionate about, you know, what they want to do or dedicating sweat, bones, and tears into what they're doing. So the world would, I don't think, would be a better place if everyone was just a degree.
I think what he's trying to say, and I actually agree with him, is that if everyone had a degree, then there's nothing to separate you from people who don't have degrees. And again, we talked about this just 2 seconds ago. Back in the 60s and 70s, it was if you had a college degree, you know, you were something. You did something. It was a real. It was an achievement, right? Whereas today, degrees are kind of like, you know, everybody's got one. You know, it's really not that big a deal, and it really doesn't mean anything in the real world. It means you're in debt, that's for sure. Almost certainly, unless you have rich parents, or unless you worked your way through college. Which, if you did, if you can work your way through college, and you want to go to college, and you can work your way through and work a job and pay for it directly without any debt, kudos. Because that says a lot about your work ethic. And those are the people who are really special, not the ones that take out a college scholar or a debt to go to college and mostly get high and hang out and party and study 25 hours a week. So anyways, that's the correlation. He's saying is it going to be useless as everyone has a college degree? Well, it's not useless because you're getting some form of education. But there would be no separation between people, which I think it's getting to that point where there's really no separation. Most people have college degrees.
I changed my mind. Because I guess, then you don't think of it. It's not college, you're just doing it.
And think about labor workers, like people that just do manual labor. You don't need a degree to do some manual labor work. Right. So if you have everyone, you know, sticking their heads in a book, we won't have stuff being built. Your house won't be built. Your cars won't be fixed. Your oil change. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to realize that in life, especially in the world, it's a balance of people. Like,
see, I don't understand that. He's basically saying that laborers don't go to college, which is inaccurate. Laborers do go to college. Every type of person goes to college. And he also kind of stated that if you go to college, that somehow you're better than a person who doesn't go to college. That's kind of my logic on that. And he was talking about balance, right? My interpretation, of what he was just saying is that he believes that if you go to college, that you're at more of a higher hierarchy, higher in the hierarchy, if you will, than a laborer. And I would argue if you go to college, you've done nothing. You have a worthless degree that really shows that you haven't been successful in life whatsoever. You've been successful in learning from a book, but that doesn't correlate to life, and that's the fundamental issue here. However, a laborer shows in a lot of ways that they can perform and function in a job, perform and function in society, whereas someone with a college degree has simply performed and functioned in a mostly socialist, jam-packed college environment with a bunch of similar individuals that don't really pay bills and don't really have any responsibilities. So I would argue that a laborer with 4 years experience is significantly higher than some person with 4 year experience straight out of college, and has proved a lot more.
I come from a minority, underrepresented, disenfranchised. And in my college experience, the higher I got, the less people that look like me that I saw. So the more people that look like me in college would make me so happy. That's what I'm saying. So like, it's tremendous to see more people going to college.
But you have to realize that this is if. You have to realize a lot of people don't want to.
Oh no!
Oh no, this is the
They
one.
don't
These are the
have
people
to.
who want to.
But if more people did, then it would be a good thing.
I just think that college education, if everyone had it, I don't think it would make the degree itself useless.
Yeah,
I think it
Exactly.
would
I
just,
think that was one part.
Oh no, I think we were taking it off a pedestal, not making it meaningless.
I know what I want to do with my life.
I love this question. This guy, whoever's making these questions is solid. Like,
I'm still figuring it out, but I'm in it right now. So I feel like I know, but there's so much more that's getting revealed as I find out. I'm currently getting a degree in psychotherapy. However, I still need 2 or 3 more years to get all my hours. And so I'm debating whether or not even to get my license and just be a woman empowerment coach. And now that I'm going to be done with grad school, I can fully invest all of myself into it. So.
Yeah. It took a minute. I mean, yeah, it was not an easy journey, and it was a lot of investing and finding out that I was investing in the wrong things. So, you know.
I like how you changed your mind.
I had to think about it hard. I was like, wait, I really don't know.
Wait, do I? I want to say that I don't feel lost. Like I don't feel like, oh, I don't know what I want to do with my life. I'm actively pursuing a lot of goals right now. And I don't anticipate like one goal lasting me a lifetime.
Exactly,
You
there
know?
you go. It's like I know all the things that I want to do. I'm just not sure which one is the, like for you guys it's like this is it. But for me I was like I'm dibbling dabbling in so many different things. I'm just like anything could be the final goal. I just don't know which one it is. So I want to perfect.
which takes me to one of my most important points. Who knows what they want to do at 18 when they graduate high school? No one knows what they want to do with the rest of their lives. And so taking on debt and choosing a curriculum that is going to force you in one direction or the other doesn't really make sense. You know, I would argue that people don't really start figuring out what they want to do until they get in the real world, away from college, and start seeing and going and choosing and trying to dabble, like they say, in multiple different things. But you see, when people go to college, they try to get a head start. And I would argue in 2021 that you're not getting a head start, you're actually falling behind. And so you're dibbling and dabbling now at 23, 24, 25 years old, which is, I'm assuming, some of these guys' age, instead of dibbling and dabbling at 18, 19. You see, that's the difference. And see, what I think should happen would be people go out after high school and try different things, get different jobs for a few years, stay with their parents, you know, grow, put money in their pockets, you know, blow a little bit, learn financially how to you know, learn how to create financial freedom, how to make your money work for you. All while you have these years of flexibility. Your parents are like, he's only 22, he's 23. Well, as you start moving in closer to 30, parents aren't going to have you in their home anymore. You know, it's time to figure it out. My concern is that these people have a college degree and they're in their mid-20s now, and they only have a few years to figure it out before the parents start looking at the watch going, hey, it's time to get going. Or if they live on their own, now they're working a 40-hour-a-week job, and now they're trying to dibble-dabble just to pay the bills, and they're dibble-dabbling, or whatever he was saying, trying different things. But the reality is you're very limited on your potential to try different things because you're so focused on just surviving. And so my argument would be, straight out of high school, go swing the bat, right? Go swing the bat as hard and as fast as you can, and swing it at multiple different pitches, and try different things. And then once you figure out what you want, or if you know, swing big swings, try to hit some grand slams, you know, try to take some chances. Like one of my son likes fishing. And so I'm going to tell him, you know, out of high school, if you want, go fish, go get you a boat, and go get you a truck, you know, if you don't have one already, and go fishing. Go join as many tournaments as you can for the next 2 to 3 years, and go as hard as you can, and just do that only. Because the reality is that the chances of you being successful and being a professional bass fisherman is very, very slim. But if you don't have the support system that's going to help you do that full time, right, it's going to be very difficult to, you'll have a huge advantage if you do have that. And so as a parent, that's my obligation. And so that's what I would say to people. 18, 19, 20, 21, go swing the bat. While everybody else is in college, like partying and just, you know, wasting away their lives and going into debt, You're going to start on the positive track. You're going to make money, and you're going to start learning who and what you are. And you're going to also have years in the workforce, educating yourselves in the real world relative to some fantasy land like college teaches. And again, I'm going to go back to the original. Lawyers, doctors, engineers, CPAs, this does not correlate to you. We're talking about very generic degrees, things that are very generic, arts, performing arts, or business, or just basic accounting degrees that you're not actually getting a license for. These things are worthless in the real world. And no pun to you, Austin, I apologize. Did you get a performing arts degree or something?
Communications.
Communications. And communications degrees, they're just worthless. They only land you a job working with me, which is not very good.
Every craft.
I was going to school for architecture, and I was 3 years in, and then I got into acting, and I booked a job. And then I realized, I was like, whoa, I really like doing this. So I dropped out of school, and I decided that I'd pursue acting instead. But that came later on, after I did 3 years of college, you know.
And I did 4. I have 3 classes before I graduated.
Really?
And I just like, I decided to leave because I felt the time for me to pursue the things I wanted to do in my life was now, and college was holding me back from that.
Education is the key to success.
Man, these are great questions. Great questions. I love it.
So when I heard education, you know, I didn't necessarily associate it with college.
Yeah.
I just
100%.
associated with gathering all the tools and the data and the knowledge,
Correct.
and then embodying that into in whatever field you want to be successful
Correct.
in.
Beautifully put.
Exactly.
And success too doesn't just come with luck. You know, you have to work hard at what you want to do.
And what's success?
Exactly.
Also.
Yeah.
I took education as like a college degree when you presented that
That's
question.
what I thought
yeah,
too.
yeah, I
Yeah.
did. That's why I didn't even walk up, because
And you have to realize, like, we learn daily.
They're so
Like,
confused on
every
what
day we're learning something, and it's so
they
fun.
wanna do.
But there's no book
It's
in front
like
of
somebody says something, oh, I changed my mind. Oh, no. It's like critical thinking is not a thing. But the fact that they can change their mind and willing to admit they're going to change their mind instead of sticking to their ways also shows a form of, you know, put the ego to the side and show that you can adapt and that you're willing to listen. And that's very, very important.
To learn those things that we learned. It just so happened that we crossed the right person, or someone related that information to us, or, you know, just based off life experiences. So I don't think that you're gonna be successful based on the fact that you went to school, or, you know, you're opening up a book or something.
you said daily is a learning experience. Every time you wake up in the morning, you should be learning something new at the end of the day.
Yes.
That's how I feel about life.
So we're actually more so on the same page, just on different parts of the page.
You're on
chapter 1, I'm on chapter 3.
Moral of the story, every day of your life, learn something. Be better than you were the day before, just 1% better. Because if you're 1% better every day, in 100 days, you'll be 200%. You'll be twice as good. And then 100 days from that, you'll be 4 times as good as you originally were. It's a compounding effect. And so my argument would be, or my thought process on every day of life is just try to be better than you were the day before, and you'll fail. Sometimes you'll be less, 0.5% better, maybe. But you know, sometimes you'll have big strides and big jumps, and you'll have great days, and you'll, believe it or not, the bad days make you better. It might not seem like it, but the reality is those experiences make your good days even more beautiful. Awesome video. Really enjoyed that one. I hope we do more of those. Moral of the story: do not go into debt for college unless you're going to be, you know exactly what you want to be, you are determined to be that, you're very disciplined, and there's good money paying on the other side to pay off that debt. Otherwise, you're going to be enslaved by the government with a debt that you can't get rid of, and you'll be stuck for 30, 40 years potentially paying off a debt, maybe sometimes until the end of your life, with this debt hovering over you. It's going to be more difficult to find jobs, or excuse me, houses, loans, borrow money, because you're going to have these debts just hanging over your head. And my argument would be, people say that you make more money with a college degree. I disagree. It's actually, if you look at statistics more recently, it shows that you don't make more money with a college degree, and it's arguable that you make less in regards to the debt situation, because when you're paying debt, the little bit of money you were making more, you're actually paying towards some type of debt that you can't get rid of. So I would say, don't get a college degree and take debt. If you guys enjoy this video, please like and subscribe. I enjoy giving it to you. Hopefully this helped you all. That's what it's all for, just to help. And if you have any questions or you have any comments, go down below and talk to me. We read all of these. I see every single comment. We're very small right now, and so take advantage of that. You know, I'm basically communicating with you directly, and I would love to answer any questions or comments. Again, like and subscribe. I'll see you guys on the next one.